Frank Angie hooks a monster fish on 30-pound on the Old Glory. The question is now, will it spool him?
Damn. It's gonna screw my 30-pound outfit.
You know what?
Onto the knot.
Oh!
Lost.
Wow.
But not forgotten.
Hey everybody, that is Richard Cayo and his new skiff headed out to Iser's Reef, and they had some excellent calico and sand bass fishing drifting there. It's a very productive area in Southern California for sand and calico bass and other species. Also, it's an artificial reef off Huntington Beach. Great fishing, big bass, biting in SoCal now. Is hooked up to a really big jack down in Cabo San Lucas. You'd be amazed at the surf fish you can catch down there. Dorado, yellowtail, roosterfish, and so much more.
Pissed off.
John said fishing with Martine from Shore Fishing Baja on Instagram was absolutely a blast. Beautiful sunrise, great fishing, and your feet are on the beach in Cabo San Lucas. How can you beat it? Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California, here in Southern California in the good old USA. It's a beautiful morning. I mean, it's sunny, it's warm, there's so many lovely people walking around. You can see there's no wind. It's another gorgeous day here in Surfside, which is sandwiched between Seal Beach and Huntington Beach. And man, I'll tell you, there's a lot of great fishing going on. That nighttime bluefin tuna bite, good for some, not good for others, starting to push way north. However, we'll have details on that south of the border. We continue to see some really good fishing. As you can see on the lead-in, there's good bass fishing and some barracuda here and there. What happened to our barracuda bite here in the LA Orange County area? Is it over? We'll talk about that a little bit more. And of course, we'll delve into Tanner Bank, Cortez Bank, San Clemente Island, Catalina Island. We'll cover it all for you because you know what time it is, everybody. Good morning. It is time for the morning briefing. So good. Thank you very much for all the likes you give us. If you could hit that like button, it means a lot to us. Subscribe to the channel, almost 10,000 subscriptions now. Thank you so very, very much. Share these reports with a friend. And don't forget, tick that little bell and you'll be notified when there is new content. Boy, there's a lot to cover, so let's get into it with you all. By the way, I just dug a real tiny hole here and tons of sandworms up near the surface. Sandworms here in Southern California, you can dig them up in the beach and they are fantastic for bait catching, yellowfin croaker catching, all kinds of other species like perch, barred perch, and even halibut will bite on them every once in a while. There's a lot of those things around right now. All right, let's get into it. In the lead-in, you saw some great surf fishing down in Cabo San Lucas, some good bass fishing out here on Iser's Reef off Huntington Beach. Really fantastic stuff going on, as well as some big hits on the bluefin tuna and also some misses on the bluefin and yellowfin. All right, let's start south of the border. We'll talk Ensenada. Hit and miss down there. You can come up with some yellowfin tuna. There's a few more Dorado poking their noses in as the effects of the El Nino. And basically what we're talking about is warmer water moving in to northern Baja and Southern California. We're starting to see a few more flatheads down there in that neck of the woods. Also some yellowtail zooming around, some on the kelp, some out at Todos Santos Island, some around Punta Banda. That's pretty good. And then off and on barracuda fishing and some pretty good bass fishing, especially there in the rugged, pristine, gorgeous Baja coast. Punta Banda, I love fishing that zone. It is so much fun. And the fallback is rockfish for the boys down there. If they can't come up with the tuna, they're trolling with Mad Mac lures for the most part. That's how they're coming up with their bluefin tuna. The size of the fish, 15 to 30 pounds average, and then you'll get some up over 100 pounds. So there's some nice fishing going on the other side of the border. Hey, congratulations to Doug Inouye. He's on the Royal Polaris, and the boys had limits of jumbo, giant bluefin tuna. Great job, Doug. And also Jillian Brown with that big bluefin tuna. Just showing off a couple of really outstanding catches. And wait to go, you guys. I'm so happy you were able to come up with some really great fishing. All right, last night's night bite. Most of the guys are up in this zone now, and that's a long run for the boys out of San Diego, about 100 miles, almost 100 plus, near Santa Barbara Island, a bank called the Osborne Bank. a bank, remember, it's just an ocean's floor coming up. It's kind of a wannabe island, let's put it that way. And the Osborne Bank, man, there's been some good fishing, which gives really better access to some of the boys up here in the LA Orange County area to that fish. El Dorado, Long Beach sport fishing, limits of bluefin tuna. The biggest one, 138 pounds. They ended up with 96 on the BFT. Freedom 41 bluefin tuna out of 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California. They also had 7 yellowtail. The Amigo was limited out on bluefin tuna by 8:30 in the morning. Chef Jason on board there said, Phil, it was as good as you could get, man. It was just biting full speed, wide open bite on the Amigo, and that is all great news for the boys up here in this neck of the woods. The Pegasus ran about 100 miles last night. Those boys on the Pegasus down there out of Fisherman's Landing in San Diego will spare no expense. They'll burn fuel, they'll work hard, they'll stay up all night. They ended up with 8 fish last night, 60 to 80 pounders. Some guys having really good fishing, predominantly the guys that can spend more time there. So a lot of these boys up in this neck of the woods are getting in on it. And then also, and when I say this neck of the woods, I'm talking Long Beach, San Pedro, even Newport Beach, they can get up onto that zone also. Remember, at night, it's been those 300-gram jigs that have been best here recently. I'm not telling you not to bring your 400s in case you get some wind and current and weather, so you're definitely going to need that. But those 300-gram lures have been really good. And the Katy Perry Rip Roller, according to Jason Barclay on board the Pegasus, has been stomping them. So really good fishing in this neck of the woods. There's some daytime fish also. Daytime fish you're going to want to drop down sometimes to 25-pound with a smaller hook, and a belly hook bait seems to be really effective. Choosing a good hot bait, then changing that bait regularly, make all the difference in the world to your success. Now, down in San Diego, some other scores for you to give you an idea of exactly what is going on. Hey, I'm sorry, I think I skipped over the Navigante, who had a tremendous trip out of Redondo sport fishing today. Limits of bluefin tuna, really a great hit for those boys indeed. All right, the San Diego boat leaves in the morning, comes back in the evening. Out of C4 sport fishing, 34 guys, 7 bluefin, 3 yellowtail. Sea Watch, same landing, same trip. They had 3 yellowfin tuna, 3 yellowtail. The Aztec on a day-and-a-half trip, 10 bluefin tuna, and 1 yellowfin tuna. There you go. And the Ranger 85, 28 guys on a day-and-a-half trip, 38 bluefin, and 3 yellowtail. There's been a lot of misses going on in San Diego. I don't know what it is, moon phase, or fish are off the bite, or fish have just moved. But it's not like that fish up there near Santa Barbara is the only fish in town. There's more coming, especially yellowfin tuna. We continue to see some really good hits on that. Also across the border for the Pongueros down there in Ensenada, we're seeing YFT down in that neck of the woods. So that is all super great news. By the way, have a 2.5-day trip. It's not a Friedman Adventures trip. It's with a friend of mine, Ernie, and it's on the Amigo, and it departs on August the 8th. I think he's almost sold out on it, if he is not. If you want to get on that, August the 8th, 2.5 days. Marvelous fishing. Send Ernie, good friend of mine, a note. He'll take good care of you, I guarantee you. 714-401-8773 to get on that trip. And also, we have our trip on the horizon on August the 15th. It's a day-and-a-half trip. Can't wait to see my friend Bill Wilkerson and the great crew of the Horizon, which is a gorgeous vessel out of H&M Landing down there in San Diego, California. You want to get on that one? Send Bill a text. Tell him you want on the Friedman Adventures 1.5-day trip departing August the 15th. It's going to be a great one. I will see you there. Sam De La Torre is even threatening to be down there. 619-985-5179. So our tuna bite is not over, and there's some really marvelous scores. You can see, I mean, some of these photos, we are so spoiled right now with these long-range size fish in our very own backyard here in Southern California. We're the envy of many places right now because, I mean, when I say the bar is really high right now, you see a boat with 1 bluefin per rod, fished at 200 pounds, and some guys go, yeah, it wasn't that great of a trip. What are you talking about? It is really a magnificent trip when you look at the history of sport fishing in Southern California. And you could argue that these are some of the best years ever seen here in this neck of the woods. That'd be a good argument. In fact, why don't you post a comment? Is this as good as you've ever seen fishing in Southern California? Probably for me it is, definitely. And man, I'll tell you, we continue to see great fishing. So remember, you're going to need tackle at night. That's that 100 to 130 pound, that metered Iser line. A guy asked, where can I get that? Contact Sam De La Torre at Island Fishing Tackle in Carson, California, or any one of these local tackle stores. They should have that metered line. It changes color every 100 feet, lets you know how deep you are. When the captain says drop, you need to drop immediately. You need to get to the depth that he is telling you the fish are at, and then you're going to have no problem at all. So keep that in mind. That will help you a great deal. Really good to see LA Orange County based boats all over that stuff. All right, let's talk some islands. Coronado Islands. There's some, the Coronado Islands, for the last several years, it's been excellent fishing there. There's some yellowtail there. There's good calico fishing. There's some barracuda, bonita. Lots of action, no question about it. And it just gets overlooked for the tuna. Everybody goes offshore, drives right by that place. It's really close to home. And so some of the boats that are focusing on that area, you can do really, really well. Remember, when you're fishing the Coronado Islands, need to have a U.S. or a passport, not a U.S. passport, but a passport in your possession. So keep that in mind. Up as we move you to San Clemente Island, there's still good yellowtail fishing going on at San Clemente Island. We continue to pick anywhere from, I want to say 5 to 20 plus yellows there. There's also some really good calico bass fishing. There's bonita, sheep's head, few barracuda at SCI. Also bring a variety of different tackle because that tuna is right there also. On the way out, or if you're on a day and a half trip for sure, you're probably going to get a look at some bluefin tuna, and you may see it in the daytime also. Surface iron has worked really well on the yellows. Tanner, Cortez, big yellows out there, biting really well, 15 to 30 pound stuff, sometimes bigger than that. A lot of fish on the yo-yo, but a lot more, it seems like, fishing fluorocarbon, and we love www.optionusa.com. Put in FA at checkout for a free gift. Out there, a fly line bait, good fluorocarbon, and again, changing your bait regularly will make all the difference in the world to your success. So some good fishing out there, tons of rockfish. Bluefin possibilities loom for Tanner and Cortez Bank also. So that is really, really great news. Taking a look up there at Santa Barbara, you know what's going on there now. The Channel Islands, really great rock fishing up there. We continue to hammer out some excellent rockfish catches. There's a few halibut around, occasional white sea bass up there in that neck of the woods. We continue to see some really good stuff. Endeavor has a 2-day trip on the 24th, and that's a hard boat to get on. While I say hi to Valentino, and he goes by, great guy. It's a hard boat to get on because they're just booked all the time, and that's because Tucker McCombs and Ventura Sportfishing do such a great job. I was on the Island Spirit here recently. I have a report on them in a second, and it was so much fun. Customer service, fantastic. And the Endeavor has some room on a 2-day trip. You got to send Alan a text, not a Friedman Adventures trip, but 805-795-1497. Better hurry and get on that one. That sounds like it'll be a lot of fun for sure. Up there in Santa Barbara, Coral Sea with good rock fishing. Stardust up there in Santa Barbara had a white sea bass and excellent rock fishing. So that continues to go along really, really well. Down at San Diego, local boats, New Seaforth, and other guys that are fishing La Jolla, Point Loma, Kelp, and surrounding areas, finding some really good calico bass fishing. Calicos and sand bass are biting pretty darn well right now, so that's good. Light line, changing your bait regularly. There's an occasional yellowtail taken in that neck of the woods also, so there is just some really fabulous fishing going on for the local boys, and guys like the Dolphin out of Fisherman's can concentrate on rockfish if they want to. A lot of their folks want that great eating colorful fish, and there's not a darn thing wrong with that. Dana Wharf, some good bass fishing going on there. Up here in this neck of the woods, we've been focused on this Barracuda, but where did our Barracuda go? Are they finally gone? Are they just down for a day? Will they be back? I think they will. There's a lot of good water, a lot of good bait here. And I'm talking anchovy, which seems to suck those barracuda in and hold them here. So probably just a down day or the fish moved. But a lot of boats kind of missed yesterday. We'll see where that takes us in the future. I know that the Enterprise ended up fishing sculpin and rockfish, and that's the fallback. You still get to go home with some good fish. Monte Carlo, same thing. And also, as we take a look for other boats, same kind of thing. Seems like we missed yesterday on the Gar, but that will be back. That doesn't mean to leave your Barracuda stuff at home. They're probably going to buy it wide open today. Surface iron, like a Tatty C single hook. I don't care what color you throw. I don't think it makes any difference. If you want to know, most guys have been doing the mint, and that's why everybody's saying we're catching fish on the mint lures, because everybody's throwing those. So once again, there you have it. And you can believe me or not, but I've seen way too many jigs in the past 50 plus years with the paint completely chipped off, catching all kinds of good Barracuda. So I'm telling you, I think that makes a difference. Local guys who are fishing, private boaters like Richard Cayo, great fishing for him, drifting Iser's Reef, which is off Huntington Beach, for big calico and sand bass, and just having a really good time. The Victory also had really good bass fishing yesterday at a Long Beach sport fishing. That is good to see. Catalina Island right there. Can we see it? Yeah, it's kind of lost in the haze back there, but that beautiful island producing a little bit of bass and bonita and barracuda, a few halibut, occasional sea bass, some whitefish, sheepshead, rockfish, kind of just picking at the fish at Cat right now. Not exactly wide open, but gorgeous weather and fun times at Cat. And you think, or you gotta think, we're sitting on a powdered keg there. That place is gonna get going. Again, the yellows that they've taken over there have been mostly light line fish, sometimes as light as 15 pound. And I know, I'm gonna say it again, choose a good hot bait, change that bait regularly. It makes all the difference in the world. Marina del Rey, Redondo area, good rockfish there. Good bass fishing at night for the twilight boats out of Marina del Rey. There's been some really good hits on calico bass for the Santa Monica Bay also, but a lot of guys are focused on the rockfish right now as this cool water persists here in SoCal. We have this cool water with all this warm water headed this way from the El Nino. Really makes it a fascinating year oceanographically speaking, and I don't know what is in our future, but it should be very, very interesting. Up there in Ventura Island Spirit, they had a couple of halibut, a barracuda, and then they picked away at a variety of different stuff, and then ended up fishing rockfish and doing quite well on that. Love fishing with Cody Rogers up there in that neck of the woods. Always a lot of fun on the surf, as I mentioned. Hold on, let's see if I'm just looking for a sandworm here. See if I can find one really quick for you. Yeah, wouldn't you know it? The camera's on, and I can't find one. Anyway, now I can, oh, hey, I think I saw one there. Yeah, I did. Got away from me. Anyway, I'm trying to get you one here. I can see him, but he keeps digging deeper. He's a dirty rat. Anyway, now I can fall in a hole. See? Now I can fall in a hole. There's a ton of sandworms in the beach. You just dig down, you'll find them. They feed on the grunion eggs. That's why they're here. And they're great bait for our surf, and the surf fishing has been quite good. I mean, a lot of barred perch, beautiful fish for SoCal, especially down there around the Huntington Beach Pier. You can also get the sand crabs down there, and they're a great bait. And then also a few halibut, and we continue to see more yellowfin croaker, and also a few corvina starting to poke their nose into the situation. All right, please hit that like button. We would really appreciate it if you could do that. Eddie Leland, I visited him the other day, and he's so grateful for all the birthday cards he received. And clothing is being handed out at Cedros Island, and a lot more than just clothing, books and all kinds of stuff. It's being handed out, shoes. Down there right now, the Friedman Adventure family, that is each and every one of you. You guys made this possible. You guys made this happen. I asked you to bring clothing or anything else that people in Mexico could use, and we wanted to take care of Cedros Island because we feel very blessed and very fortunate to have fished that island for so many years that we wanted to say thank you. And it's getting handed out. Diego Nuno, deckhand on the Royal Star, and his lovely family really helping in the effort, as well as many other folks who I will mention tomorrow on the morning briefing. All right, my friends, can't thank you enough for being here this morning. It's always great spending time with you. I got a feeling there's a lot more fun to come today with breaking news on our shorts and so much more. Subscribe. Don't forget to tick the bell. You'll be notified when there's new content. Almost 10,000 subscribers. I love you guys. Thank you so very much. Share these videos, and don't forget, you can catch us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Hey, only one thing will make this day better, and that's if I get to see you really, really soon. Have a great day, and I'll see you again right here on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel.